I don't know if you can see, but the other day I got my hair and I just like, the fuck is that? Hi, why do I always do that? Like, I'm always like, hey, what's up? Like, am I 12? Fuck, this video is gonna be a mess. Okay, so hi, how are you? My name is Sophia. What's up? I hope you consider to subscribe. I'm also not naked, by the way. So yeah, it's just that if I put my hair like this, you can't see the atrocity that I did to these cute little hairs. So we're just gonna... Oh, also follow me on my social media if you want to keep up with me, or just to follow me. Like, do you need a reason to follow me on social media? Today we're gonna talk about another show. Today's victim is Gilmore Girls. I remember watching this show right after I finished Gossip Girl, so that was when I was 15. And I mean, I looked up, this show actually came out in 2000, and in 2000 I was like a month old at best. Like, I spent most of 2000 in the womb, so obviously I did not watch the show while it aired, so I just watched it 15 years later. And I really like it. I thought it was gonna be more Gossip Girl, kind of. I don't know why I thought it was gonna be like that. Gossip Girl is about Rory and Lorelai. They're mother and daughter, and they live in this town, whatever it's called. I'm blanked. I don't remember the name of the town. Well, that's not the most important thing to know about the show. And the whole show goes in the course of Rory going to high school, and she goes to a private high school in another city that her grandparents paid for. But basically the show is surrounded these two, and just, you know, like that, basically, you know, her going through high school and just life in general, and Lorelai, you know, just a single mother. She was a teen mom, making it in life. And the show is really great. The premises of the show is actually really great. It's just kind of relatable shit, which is the total opposite of Gossip Girl, so I don't know why that I ever thought they were similar. So let's talk about the characters. I think that's where I want to go first. So Rory. No, I think I'm gonna start with Lorelai first, because I have many things to say about Rory, so I think it's easier just for me to start with Lorelai. I personally like her. Overall, I think she is great and funny, and I really like early 2000s show, because it's just everything about dialogue. I feel like I know nothing about filming and cinematography and, you know, the productions and directing, anything like that. I'm just here to talk shit about shows, I guess. But I feel like comparing shows from 2000s and shows right now, most of them right now, like, they focus a lot on aesthetics and just the look of the show and the vibe of the show, rather than the dialogue, which I feel like that's what they focused back in the day, 20 years ago. So yeah, so I really like Lorelai. Obviously I couldn't relate. I do think that sometimes she acted just like a child, but I think it makes sense for her to act childish many times, because she was a teen mom. I think she was 16 or 17 when she had Rory, so it makes sense why she acts the way she acts. You know, working mom, and she did everything by herself. You know, she didn't want to live off of her parents. She wanted to do everything on her own. She had Rory by her own, and I think it's really great. And overall, I think she's a great character, but childish at times, and it's not really... It makes sense why. Rory. She was, in my opinion, once great, but never again. When I watched her in the beginning, I really liked her. She's really innocent. I kind of liked that about her, I guess, but as the series went on, I feel like she, instead of evolving, she devolved. I'm such a reviewer, you know, evolving, devolving, you know. But she's really spoiled, and Rory wasn't spoiled only by her mom and her grandparents, because she's the only grandchild that they have, but she was spoiled by the whole town, you know, because the whole town took Lorelai in. So when Rory was born, like, everybody cares about her. I don't think there's one single person in that town that has never helped Rory in a way, you know. And it's just a small town. She was spoiled by just everyone in her life, and that definitely affected her getting into adulthood. She was really selfish, again, kind of going off by being spoiled. It's like she doesn't really think about other people. She always think about how something's gonna affect her, and she really has very high expectations about many things, and she doesn't really know when to apologize, because she was given everything, you know. The only thing she had to worry about was about getting good grades and stuff. So yeah, and she was naive many times, and we'll talk about their relationships afterwards, but yeah, that's overall my thoughts about Rory. So let's talk about the boyfriends. Dean, he was her first boyfriend, and I feel like he was good as a first boyfriend. And what I mean by that, I've never been in a relationship, but from my point of view, I think what it means being a great first boyfriend is that when you have a first boyfriend, it's kind of to see what you like, what you don't like, to kind of test waters, I guess. And you know, it's kind of a trial in a way. Obviously this doesn't relate to everyone, but it's just kind of what it feels like, because you've never been in a relationship, so you're kind of trying out what you like, what you don't like. And yeah, so I feel like Dean was great for that, for her to realize what she likes and what she doesn't like, and just experiment, I guess. But he became manipulative, and he gaslighted Rory many times. He treated her not so great. I will talk about their relationship later on, so I can really extend my point, but I feel like there was a complete different Dean between the first time that they dated and then the second time, and so on. Jess. So I am a little bit biased. Jess is my favorite, so I am biased. He is definitely problematic. I mean, when he came into town, he's a troublemaker. The reason why he went to the town, I think, is because he had problems with his mom. So yeah, problematic. But I feel like he's what Rory needed at the time when they first met, like season 2, early season 3, and she was what he needed as well at the same time, kind of like guidance, or kind of something stable in his life, someone that actually cared for him. I liked them better when they were dating, and that has something to do with Rory. But yeah, I liked them better when they weren't dating than when they were in a relationship. I also forgot to mention that I really liked the relationship that Luke and Jess had. I think it was really beautiful, and at the end Luke really cared for Jess, and Jess as well. Jess really cared about Luke, and it was a really nice thing. It was beautiful, and he didn't even do that many bad things. I feel like everyone in town just kind of judge him and assume the worst out of him. It is a small town, so that does happen in small towns. People just assume anything, but yeah, he deserves better. Tristan. Hey, so we're totally gonna ignore the fact that I called Logan Tristan throughout the whole video, okay? Okay. I just googled it, and Tristan is actually the guy from One Tree Hill, and Logan is actually the guy that I was referring to as Tristan. So I'm sorry, but I did mention that I didn't exactly watch the last few seasons of the show, so I'm not really that sorry. So let's just pretend that every time I say Tristan, I actually mean Logan. So the thing with Tristan is that I've watched the show twice. The first time I did watch it to the end, but the second time I stopped watching it as soon as Jess leaves. So I don't really remember much about Tristan, but from what I've seen online, he was a rich kid, basically. He was basically a Christopher, so not a great guy. So let's talk about a little bit about the relationships, and then I'll continue with the characters. So Rory and Dean, the first time they dated, the relationship was cute. I feel like they didn't have much connection, to be honest. You know, it's like I mentioned, you know, it's your first relationship. It's not really supposed to be meaningful. When they break up, I don't remember it specifically, but as far as I remember, they break up because Dean tells Rory that he loves her, and she doesn't say it back immediately, and he kind of breaks up with her because of that. I'm not completely against Dean breaking up with her because she didn't say I love you back. Why would you be in a relationship with someone that doesn't love you? So I see his point, but I feel like the way it was, like, she didn't say it back. I think she said thank you the first time, but then he like asked her again, and she didn't exactly know what to respond. Or maybe I'm totally off, but I do remember a part where he said I love you and she didn't say it back, and he got mad at that. So that it's really a red flag, like, because sometimes people are not really comfortable with saying it, especially if you've never said it to anyone. Okay for her to kind of freak out a little bit and take some time to think about it. But anyway, when they start dating again, Jess was already in town, and there was obviously a connection, an undeniable connection between Jess and Rory. I feel like Dean and Rory didn't have much in common, and Jess and Rory had that connection that she didn't really have with Dean. So she was obviously curious about it. She was obviously wanted to get closer to Jess because there's that connection, there's that chemistry that you don't really have with your boyfriend. So you're like kind of curious and you want to see what exactly is that, you know? So obviously Dean noticed that there's something going on between them, and instead of being a normal person and ask like, is there something going on, do you like him or not, I think he did ask her a few times if she liked him, and she always said no or something, or didn't exactly have to reply. He became really manipulative, and I feel like at some point whenever he was mad at Rory, he wouldn't talk to Rory about it, he would talk to her mom about it, like, oh, Rory did this and did that. Like, dude, talk to her. She's your boyfriend. Why are you talking to her mom? That's just something that kind of pissed me off. And then they break up finally. And the thing is, Rory did cheat on Dean, and Dean has any reason of maybe not trusting Jess. And even though she cheated on him, he was still a bad boyfriend, you know? So that doesn't really cancel out, even though she was the one who made the shitty decision of cheating on him. So the thing with Jess is that he never really tried to do anything with Rory when she was with Dean. He never did anything. He flirted with her, but here's the thing, she flirted back. He obviously likes Rory, but he's not gonna do anything because she's with Dean. You know, she was giving him signs. She was still talking to him. She was still flirting back, and she was still wanted to see him, even though she was in a relationship. I already mentioned, but when they weren't dating, I feel like they had a better chemistry, better relationship going on. When they started dating, Jess and Rory, I feel like Rory had such a high expectations of Jess. She was expecting Jess to act just like Dean. Even though there was times like when Jess would tell her that he was gonna call and he never did, or will call her like the next day. You tell someone you're gonna call, and especially at that time when you don't have WhatsApp or iMessage, call. Please, if you're gonna tell someone you're gonna call. I feel like she has so many expectations that Jess is not like that, so you can't really expect Jess to act that way, and she never really trusted him. You know, even though I know he's problematic and he makes a lot of trouble, but you're dating him, and she kind of believed Dean way more. Even if Dean is a nice guy, you're dating Jess and you have to trust your boyfriend. Like the time when Jess went to the Friday dinner with Rory's grandma, and he didn't want to go, but he knows how much Rory cares about her grandma that he went, and he had a black eye. He didn't want to explain at dinner. Obviously, I wouldn't. Let's wait until the dinner ends and then we'll talk about it. But she continuously kept asking about it, even though he told her that they will talk later. And she just assumed that he got into a fight, with Dean, that she even went to talk to Dean about it. And Dean is like, no, we didn't fight. So you want to talk to your ex-boyfriend before you even want to talk to your boyfriend. Like, yeah, he doesn't have the best reputation, but it's still your boyfriend, and you still believe him before you believe somebody else, unless you have proof of something else, you know? So it really, really pissed me off, even though I want Jess and Rory to be endgame and I want them to be together. I feel like they were wrong time, wrong place, every time. You know, she became really kind of toxic to him, and I'm glad he walked away from that. Sad because I want them together, but it's just, it was never the great time for them, because then when he came back for like a few episodes, he was too good for Rory. I'm sorry, she was a fucking mess and he was too good for her. So, and Tristan, I have nothing to say about Tristan, because again, I don't remember the decisions. She is engaged at some point, but I think they never actually get married, and then she's pregnant, so it's like an end, like a cycle. Like, she ends up being just like Lorelai, except that a few years later. So that was it for my rant about the relationship. So let's go back to the characters. I really liked Luke. He was really fun. He was judgmental many times, but I feel like at the end of the day he was really fun. I love that he was so against everything about the town, you know, like against all of those traditions. Like, I really really like that. I don't know, it's kind of like, because whenever I see things about towns and small towns and their, you know, crazy traditions and parties, there's always like really happy and like, oh yeah, I'm really happy, or they're always like happy to go. There's never a character that is like that most of the time, and I really like that they had that contrast of someone hating them to death. And I also loved Lorelai and Rory just going there to just mess with everybody, you know, that was cool. And I really liked Luke and Lorelai. I feel like they're just like Jess and Rory. I feel like they're really cute together, and they could have worked if both of them wouldn't be so stubborn and judgmental. I think Kirk and Suki were the best characters of the show. They never pissed me off. They were always, you know, Suki was always nice energy all the time, which I loved. And Kirk, you know, he was the best character, I swear to you. The grandparents, I like the family dynamic. Sometimes the family dynamic would remind me of Shrek 2 to be exact. I don't know why. They were definitely annoying, close-minded, you know, typical grandparents. I don't remember Rory's friend. Lane. Is it Lane? If it's Lane, I'm actually about to scream. How did I just remember that? I don't know. But I want to be friends with her. I feel like she's so cool. I don't understand how she's friends with Rory, but she's so cool. I really liked her. And Paris, she's also one of my favorite characters. I think she's, after Jess, she's one of my favorite characters. There's an episode, I think it's in it has to be season 2, or maybe early season 3, when Jess and Paris, and it's like in Rory's, they're at Rory's and they're like eating, and like their dynamic has a friendship, not has something more than that, has a friendship. I mean, it was really nice. I wish we would have seen more scenes of them together, because they're quite funny, to be honest, and I really like them. I remember as well that there was the One Tree Hill boy, I think his name is Lucas. Like, he was in the show for like 2 episodes, and I don't know, I didn't like the character. I don't know what it is with the actor, that he plays such a douchebag characters every time. In every movie, every show that I watch, he's always playing these douchebag characters that I hate to death. I was so happy in One Tree Hill when he left, because I swear to you that I can't stand Lucas. I can't. So I thought there was gonna be like a love triangle between like Dean, Rory, and this guy. I guess that never really happened because of One Tree Hill or something. I don't know what else to say about Gilmore Girls. I really like the show until season 4. I feel like the show is really great, but the main character, Rory, ruins it. The first few seasons are really, really amazing and I love them, but it's just after season 4, I really, really can't stand Rory, and it's a shame because Rory is a main character and the show is not bad, but she is a main character, so there's nowhere to go. And you know, if you don't like the main character, dude, you're doomed. It's just Rory, dude. We were rooting for you, sweetie. We really were. I really liked her. She was interesting. You know, she was cool. She, you know, I really like reading. She likes reading. She's cool. I like her. You know. I forgot to mention about Dean and Rory, dude. You can say I don't understand when people tell me that, oh, Dean is such a nice guy. He's not a nice guy, because if I remember correctly, season 4 or 5, I don't know which one, he is married. He's like 18 years old and he's married. No judgment here, but he has an affair with Rory. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that's how she loses her virginity. So that's her first sexual experience, you know, having sex with a married man. How can you tell me he's a nice guy? Well, he is nice guy trope, you know. They look nice, but they really are not nice. And he treated her like crap in the second time they were together. Didn't trust her, didn't nothing. And then he went on to have a affair with her. I totally forgot to mention that. Like, that's like, I think was the lowest of her character. I remember watching that episode, and I think that's when I'm like, you know what, I'm out. It was nice to meet you. It was nice to spend time watching your show, but I'm out. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna stop the video right here because I don't want it to sound like I hate Rory, but I sort of do. I would love to make a video about Rory, like talking about her and, you know, her being great at some point, and then like how did you went from being a great character to just total trash can. But that would mean that I have to watch the series from beginning to end, and I don't want to do that. So I'm gonna leave the video right here. Please let me know down below your thoughts on the show. Are you team Jess, Dean, Tristan? I actually don't know if Tristan is a name. I used to think it was Logan, but then I think I found out that it was actually Tristan. I don't know. If it was Logan, then I'm sorry that I referred to him as a Tristan. But yeah, thumbs up if you really enjoyed this video. Consider to subscribe and turn the post notifications on so you're notified whenever I upload, and maybe follow me on my socials if you want to do that. And I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.